Good evening, fellow Ambazonians. Greetings to you, all patriots and nationalists. The state of Cameroon has collapsed. There is a political and a leadership vacuum in Cameroon. There's also a political and a leadership crisis in Cameroon. The state of Cameroon is currently being managed by the French ambassador. There is a leadership crisis and a leadership vacuum in Cameroon. Ambazonia's strategic defeat of Cameroon's occupation and Cameroon's colonial occupation governance in Ambazonia has brought about these political, leadership, and economic consequences to Cameroon. There's no better time for the Ambazonian people than this moment, when Cameroon, when Mr. Biya is on his way out, when the tyrant, the French puppet, the man who has looted the Cameroon treasury, bankrupted the Cameroon state, and fractured Cameroon, is on his way out. There's no better time for the Ambazonian people to rise up and to reclaim their homeland and proclaim their sovereignty and independence than this moment. This is a golden opportunity for the Ambazonian people. But first, let's listen to Dr. Cho Lucas Ayaba message to the Ambazonian people.
My fellow Ambazonians, I honor my son, General Weapon. You left your home in Manu and reported to Daddy because I called on all of you to be trained to defend the land. You fought in Manu, you were wounded there, you moved to Mezam, you grew up in the ranks in Alabukam, defending my own village. I am honored, and that's where you fail. I also honor Bedatin, my brave soldier and commander from Bafut. I honor Rambo for Momo who fell in Meme. I honor the other two commanders of the barrack of General Yaka who fell a couple of days ago. My fellow Ambazonians, accept liberation greetings from Oslo. In 5 months, it will mark exactly 8 years since the fascists stood at the airport and declared an onslaught on our people. This year also marks the 60th anniversary since the last dead tyrant Ayijo dismantled multi-party democracy in Ambazonia and established the CNU, now CPDM, that has been the driving force of totalitarian anarchy in both Ambazonia and Cameroon. It is also exactly 35 years since our people rose up in bravery, paying in blood and treasure, to relaunch multi-party democracy in Ambazonia with the launch of the Social Democratic Front on the 26th of May 1995. It is also exactly 30 years since we met in Boya and launched the Southern Cameroon's Youth League on the 28th of May 1995, a movement under whose banner many have sacrificed their lives to keep our nationalism alive. My fellow Ambazonians, it is also 30 years since the Southern Cameroon's National Council sent late Prime Ministers Foncha and Muna accompanied by others, to lodge a petition at the United Nations. It is also 30 years exactly since after the visit at the UN, the London communique was issued from London, declaring the end of the reasonable period given Cameroon by the Bamenda Proclamation to renegotiate coexistence or face zero option, which began our fight for independence. Independence restored by from Boji in 1984, proclaimed by Justice Ebong in 1999, reaffirmed by Siseko Ayuk in 2017, and has since been defended by our valiant soldiers and people since then. I honor all of you, the living. I honor the dead. I honor the jailed and exiled for their sacrifices. And I ask you not to blink. My fellow people, we are in a violent neighborhood. We are dealing with vicious systems surrounded by two countries that have committed genocide against their own people. So let me tell you something you already know. Cameroon is a mean and nasty actor. They don't care how tough you are. They will beat you to your knees and keep you there permanently. And they will forever be on the watch without mercy to ensure we never rise again. When they occupied our country 64 years ago, extermination wasn't contemplated because they believed that manipulation would get us to succumb. For effective control possible, the enemy had to completely dismantle the political institutions that ensured separate governance, the economic institutions that guaranteed survival and made future resistance possible. Then they attacked the fabric of our society to undermine the preservation of nationhood. For assimilation to work, the occupier had to take control of every aspect of our society, including the artifact of our identity. They issued their identity cards, driver's license, car documents, number plates, birth certificates, death certificates. With these artifacts, they stamped their authority and identity on us and ensured we carried it along, worshiped them, and proclaimed them. They effectively changed our identity and took control of the database. Then recruited colonial apologists and profiteers to ensure that the takeover had local heroes. They stuffed embassies abroad to proclaim Cameroonese. These tragedies put millions of Ambazonians into survival mode. We started acting Cameroonian to be accepted for purposes of survival. My fellow people, this are the enormity of the task on underfunded, under-resourced generation has to resolve, while at the same time convince those who have, by necessity, sided with the enemy that freedom is a worthy goal worth sacrificing for. Have faith, my people. The stars are aligning in our favor. Just hold the line. To our people, during the occupation of Norway by the Germans, Nodal Grieg, a Norwegian poet, writer, and political activist, penned these unforgettable words. Faced by our enemies, battle is menacing. Now make your stand. Fearful your question, defenseless, open. What shall my weapon? Here is your battle plan. Here is your shield. Fit in this life of us. For our children's sake, save it, defend it, pay any price to us. Those who have died, those in jail, those displaced, and the millions growing up and looking up to us for a better tomorrow. General Ivo, General No Pity, General Efang, General Bitakola, General JC, General Weapon, Field Marshal, and the thousands of Ambazonian commanders and soldiers killed are looking up to us to complete the job they sacrificed their lives for. So let us hold the line for Ambazonia. Do not be alarmed by the setbacks. When God chooses a people to escape slavery and oppression, he puts them through the greatest hardships imaginable. This is a test of your resilience and faith in the promise of freedom. Those who easily give up on a journey are those usually weak in defending their treasure. Liberation wars are tough, my people. They are a test of will, power, and greed, especially against enemies whose survival depends on your enslavement. We have had several battlefield setbacks. Despite these setbacks, the key indicators of the resistance remain strong. We now have a full picture of the enemy's military strategy, and we are confident. Their key indicators are body counts and return to normalcy. Our forces should follow directives from the leadership body. Our strategy has an added component that responds to the enemy's military strategy and objective, and most importantly, to its changing economic and political dynamics. Time is on our side, so let us hold the line. We are at war, Ambazonians, a war of survival, a war for our self-preservation against dark forces determined to eliminate us from the surface of the earth. We are at war against a 21st century fascist determined to destroy everyone. Faced with such a situation, we need firefighters who are going to extinguish the fire, and our soldiers are poised to do that. I welcome the European Parliament joint motion for a resolution issued in April 2025, which highlighted the detention of Mancho BBC, T. Conrad, Thomas Awa, and Kingsley Njoka. This resolution should compel member states to take specific actions, including limitations on trade, travel suspension on genocide enablers like Atanganji. The practice of incarceration of journalists in Ambazonia is widespread and systematic. I also welcome the Amnesty International campaign on the life sentence handed down to Abdul Karim. I call on Amnesty International and other organizations to use this case and the cases of other Ambazonians detained, including teachers, lawyers, women, and the elderly, to push countries to take action against the fascists in Yaoundé. I also welcome the June 2025 publication of the Norwegian Refugee Council. The NRC director had visited Ambazonia a few years back and spoke strongly about the terrible humanitarian situation faced by victims of the conflict. Since then, the NRC has put a focus on the conflict. Last year, it was classified as the second most neglected conflict in the world. This year, it has been ranked number 1. By neglect, the NRC means to pay little or no attention, fail to heed or disregard. This report is a call for action on both humanitarian and political resolution initiatives, especially at a time when Ambazonian refugees in Cameroon are harassed, attacked, raped, killed, and their farms burnt. I strongly condemn these acts and call for common condemnation from the international community. I also welcome the Norwegian White Paper on Norway's contribution to peace and conflict resolution issued last week. I am happy that the paper acknowledges Norwegian hypocrisy, captured as a dilemma, and its desire to professionalize and systematize its effort in this area. 23 years ago, I was at the Norwegian Foreign Ministry to plead Ambazonia's case. They failed to act, rather they ate stockfish with Yaoundé. The Ambazonia-Cameroon conflict offers the Norwegian government an opportunity to put the white paper into practice. The most important aspect of conflict resolution is preventive diplomacy, and I hope other countries will take the cue. My fellow Ambazonians, the French Empire lasted 360 years, the British 390 years, the Roman Empire 510 years, the Byzantine Empire lasted 1,100 years. The Western liberal hegemon has lasted 80 years. It faces an existential threat, not from external power forces, rival systems, or a Napoleonic or Hitlerian personalities. It has been anchored on certain principles and values and a promise, all systematically being undermined by its custodians or selectively applied. A reset is possible, and Ambazonia offers a test case. The tools to resolve the Ambazonia-Cameroon conflict exist. What is required is the will that defeats fear, self-interest, and achieves security interest for all, and justice and peace for both Ambazonians and Cameroonians. I had asked to speak to the French 2 years ago. The report authorized by President Macron is a first bold step. It took courage for that to happen. What that report unveiled is a damning indictment of how terror, including genocide, was used to sustain a tyranny that is committing the next genocide in Ambazonia. The report showed how institutions of the state, including churches, of collaborators, profiteers, including the role of the press, in demonizing the UPC. These are the same tactics being employed in Ambazonia, with hired hands on social media dedicated to demonizing Ambazonian forces. So whatever the French president sought to achieve with this investigation and finding should again inform his decisions in Ambazonia. My fellow countrymen, France should abandon thugs and petty criminals whose actions have caused so much pain to millions. There is no benefit they gain from thugs like Owona, Bia, Atanganji, Regina, in a time and world where innovative minds can benefit France's prestige and economy. To our friends in London, let me ask these questions to the UK ambassador in Yaoundé. Mr. Ambassador, I'm sorry Boya no longer answers to Yaoundé, so let's reserve the title High Commissioner for the future. What do you think Paris would say if it was Ambazonia rolling tanks into a French state, roasting people, wiping out villages in its wake? What do you think Paris would say if tanks were to be rolled into Quebec, killing and committing massacres? What do you think Dublin's reaction will be if 1,000 homes were razed in Belfast, 2,000 arrested and moved to London and subjected to torture, even if they were IRA members? Mr. Ambassador, the UK has taken in 250,000 Ukrainians, refugees. I ask the UK to resettle Ambazonian refugees in Biafra and Nigeria. Look into the NRC report and provide funding to help the IDPs. Ambazonia is the oldest parliamentary democracy in Africa. All countries, including our Russian friends, and refuse and abandon tactics of the 20th century. I ask all of you to be bold and also offer your support to progressive forces in Cameroon to end the tyranny, thuggery, and anarchy of the band of thugs who have taken Cameroon hostage. This is a crucial year in a tumultuous world for preventive diplomacy to be put into effect. To our soldiers, I congratulate the ADF, ARF, and Bui Unity Warriors for their brazen action in Bui. There is none like you. Before you, it was you, and I hail your bravery. Discipline is the key to a successful revolutionary. Discipline keeps you alive. Discipline is vital for the survival of your unit. All of you should be disciplined. Ambazonia's freedom will not be the same without you. Walk with our people. They are your first line of defense. To our Ambazonian people, you must hold the line, our people. Hold the line for your children's sake. Pay any price for it. Cameroon is your oppressor, not your God, and we must prevail over them. We might have been bruised, battered, and objectified, but they have not taken our power to fight back. Arm your children to enable them. Defend our homeland. My fellow countrymen and women, I am optimistic about our freedom. This is an important year. In the last 7 months, I have studied the Colombian conflict from 1810 to 2016. I have compared it with the South African conflict from 1652 right up to 1994. I have done a comparative studies of these conflicts, and I am proud of what we have achieved in the last 8 years. I am proud of our discipline. I am proud of our dedication. But there is a mistake we should not make. The mistake South Africa made. We should not compromise on the question of independence for our people, for our country, for the sake of self-determination. You must be watching the world today. The world is reverting. It's moving away from globalization back to nationalism. We must secure Ambazonia, strengthen it. We must have faith in it, build it in order to be competitive internationally. God bless Ambazonia. God bless each and every one of you.
My fellow Ambazonians, fellow nationalists and patriots, this is a golden moment. This is a golden opportunity to create a better world, a better country, and a better future for the Ambazonian people. There is no better time for the Ambazonian people than this moment. We must do whatever it takes to seize this moment and to seize this golden opportunity to give the Ambazonian people the freedom they deserve, the dignity they deserve, the independence they deserve, and the human rights they deserve. This is a golden opportunity for us to be able to create a nation governed by the rule of law, a nation where everyone has a chance, where everyone can benefit, where everyone can prosper. We have a golden opportunity. Agbobala is not coming for your freedom. Agbobala, it's not speaking for you to be free. He has never spoken for you to be free. Agbobala has always pursued self-interest. Agbobala, it's not speaking for justice for the Ambazonian people. Agbobala is not speaking for accountability. Agbobala is not speaking for the international community to bring this conflict to an end, for justice, accountability, and freedom for the Ambazonian people. Remember in 2016, who Agbobala was. The Cameroon government quickly used Agbobala because they recognized Harmony Bobga was very powerful, fierce, and uncompromising. They quickly switched Harmony Bobga and replaced him with Agbobala, put Agbobala at the forefront of the liberation struggle, and made Agbobala to become the Secretary General or President of the consortium. Used the same Agbobala to sabotage the teachers, the lawyers, and all the trade unionists. Used Agbobala to sabotage the Ambazonian liberation struggle. Used him and Fontem Neba to decapitate the struggle. While in jail, Agbobala reached a deal with the Cameroon government, which today is living large, benefiting from the funds, the money promised to him, and giving him all the help, the glory, and internationalization of his human rights career. Agboola signed a deal with the Cameroon government never to support the independence or speak for the freedom of Ambazonia. Agboola is a traitor. He betrayed the Ambazonian people, betrayed TASA, and betrayed the thousands of Ambazonian teachers and lawyers for his own personal and selfish interest. Everyone else was sent on exile. The only person left in Cameroon, moving freely, speaking freely, dining with Mr. Biya and Dion Gute and Atanganji and the generals and the Regina Mundis and the murderers of the Ambazonian people. Why? Because he's one of them. They help him to fund the so-called human rights organization, gave him all sorts of opportunities to put him at the forefront. They used him while Eric Tato was committing the atrocities and ordering the chopping of limbs of Ambazonians. Agboola was out, speaking of both sides, committing atrocities. In 2018, 2019, he was championing Mr. Biya's monologue called the Grand National Dialogue. Agboola told you that the Grand National Dialogue is the solution to the conflict. Right? That's what he told you. That the Grand National Dialogue is a solution to the conflict. And why you should embrace the Grand National Dialogue. Agboola told you in 2018 that vote for Mr. Biya. He told you that you should vote for Paul Biya. He asked you to vote for Mr. Biya. Embrace the CPDM party. And go in for elections. That elections are the solution. Elections to provide the solutions to the conflict. That's what he told you. He told you also to embrace the Grand National Dialogue. It's a solution to the conflict. Agboola is one of the architects of Mr. Biya's special status. What is the special status today? Where is that solution to the conflict he promised you in 2018? What is that solution to the conflict he promised you in 2019? That support Mr. Biya, support the CPDM party, embrace the Grand National Dialogue as a solution to the conflict. That was 2018 and 2019. You are now in 2025. When their masters who gave them the voice, gave them the political opportunities, and made them to become beneficiaries of the occupation, those same masters they supported in 2018, the same masters they made political deals with to betray Ambazonians, to betray teachers and lawyers. They promoted those masters and told you those masters will bring you change. What has that cost? It has caused the death of more than 70,000 Ambazonians. Sent more than 400,000 Ambazonians to become refugees in Nigeria alone. Cost another what? 1.5 million Ambazonians are now in need of humanitarian assistance. Another 800,000 Ambazonians have no homes. That's what Agbobala has caused. What has he benefited? Blood money, fame, negative fame, an accessory to the genocide. Right? Today, from 2016, now it's 2025. Agbobala is coming back to tell you to go vote. How many times will Agbobala use the conflict for self-glorification, for self-interest? How many times will they come and use you as political ping-pongs to advance their political careers at the detriment, at the cost of your lives, the children's lives, the children's destiny, at the cost of your future, at the cost of your freedom, at the cost of your dignity? They contributed to the political leadership vacuum in Cameroon. They contributed to the political crisis Cameroon is facing today. The same Agbobala is coming back in 2025 to tell you to embrace a political transition as a solution to the conflict. The same Agbobala is coming back to tell you to go vote. As if votes have ever mattered in Cameroon. They are not speaking because they care about you or because they care about democracy. It's all a political ping-pong game for pockets, bank accounts, for social media titles. It's not about the people. It's never been about the people. Politics in Cameroon has never been about the people. It's all about what the beneficiaries of the occupation and the system can gain from. It's what Agbobala can get out of this moment. Because Biya is going down. Now they are preparing themselves, positioning themselves for what's to come. All the game Agbobala is playing on social media is fronting himself, positioning himself for a ministerial position. Not because they want change. They've never advocated for change. They've never stood for change. If they had stood for true change, Agbobala will not be in Cameroon today. Anyone that has dared to speak the truth is not in Cameroon. It's in exile. Those that have been allowed to be in Cameroon are part of the system, are all the blood suckers and accessory to genocide, occupation, massacres for their own fame and distribution of the little wealth or whatever is left of Cameroon. Issa Chiroma is not coming to give you freedom or is not coming to liberate Cameroon. They are all part of the cartels set up by the French to divide the Cameroonese people from north to south. Mr. Chiroma created his own political party and formed an alliance with Mr. Biya, including Bello Buba, is not coming to give the Cameroonese people any chance for change. It's a political ping-pong game. They are using the people of the Grand North for their own access to power. According to Issa Chiroma, 70% of the population in the Grand North do not have elementary school education. 70% of the population of the 3 provinces, of the 3 regions in northern Cameroon have no access to water or to electricity. And you call that a country? How long has Issa Chiroma been given ministerial positions including Bello Buba. The masters they have served, the alliances they formed, are responsible for the political crisis, for the economic crisis Cameroon faces today. Mr. Biya is on his way out. They are now abandoning that master in search for a new puppet, for a new arrangement. So, fellow Ambazonians, don't let Agbobala, don't let Issa Chiroma, don't let Bello Buba, don't let Maurice Kamto, don't let Joshua Osi to deceive you. You have one chance and you have one decision to make. Let me repeat. You, the Ambazonian people, we, the Ambazonian people, you, Ambazonian children, you, Ambazonian parents, we, the people of Ambazonia, we have one chance and one decision to make. If we miss this golden opportunity, we are going back to slavery. We are going back to the land of murder, of massacres, of scorched earth policy, to a land of terror, to a land poverty, misery, hopelessness. We have a golden opportunity. Secure Ambazonia. Cameroon is at its weakest point politically, economically, socially, culturally, diplomatically. They don't have a state. Mr. Biya is now absent. The man who declared the war, the man who was responsible for the genocide, the man who was responsible for the massacres in Ambazonia, is on his way out. The French ambassador is now in charge in keeping the state of Cameroon together in search for the next puppet. From what we know, the political and leadership crisis in Cameroon is leading to a civil war. The political and leadership crisis in Cameroon is now leading to a civil war. There's no clear path to a transition. The opposition political parties in Cameroon, they lack the will, they lack the leadership, they lack the courage, they lack the vision. Kamto doesn't have the vision, Osi doesn't have the vision. Those are the two front runners. They lack the courage, they don't have the vision. 3 months to their presidential election, there is no clear-cut strategy in place as to what will happen should in case Mr. Biya goes down. For us, the Ambazonian people, this is your moment. To the Ambazonian forces, this is your time. The occupation governance system has disintegrated. The strategic defeat we've delivered to Cameroon has not only bankrupted the state, but has fractured the society. The CPDM is no longer intact. It's splintered into 4 different parts. Bello Buba and Issa Chiroma wants to take control of the north politically. Those in the center, east and west, they are working on their own arrangement. The future that you deserve, the life you want for your children, we can only have it in an independent Ambazonia. We can only have it within the next 3 to 4 months. As Cameroon is splintering, as the political crisis and leadership vacuum, with all indicators that we have now, there is a major conflict brewing in Cameroon. There are factions within Cameroon that are preparing themselves for armed rebellion. We know that. So this is the best time for the Ambazonian people. My fellow brothers and sisters, no time not be better for the Ambazonian people than this moment. Mr. Bia, time don't come to an end. So more gonna not think say at Bobala, one can't help una for anything. Bala don't always work for himself. He betrayed the teachers and lawyers. He betrayed the Ambazonian struggle for a belly, for a pocket, and for fame. No person will stand for speak the truth, for call for accountability, for independent international investigation, for investigate all the number of people the way the Cameroon government don't kill them, massacre them, murder them. No person will stand for ask for justice for the victims of Mr. Bia war inside Cameroon. Any person will stand for speak truth about this conflict, they don't send it for exile. Any person will inside Cameroon, whether na Bala or na Joshua Osi or na Issa Chiroma or na Maurice Kamto or na any person or na Regina Mundi, any person will inside Cameroon na part of the system. You know if you stand for speak truth and they live inside Cameroon, they either kill you, they send you for prison, or they send you for exile. If they not succeed for sending you for prison, they will kill you. If they not succeed for kill you, they send you for exile. Any person who will stand today, say that he talk for 2016, they tell when I say, Agbobala, they want to go talk with the government of Cameroon. They sell teachers, sell lawyer, Ian Fontaine-Neba. They be the only 2 Ambazonian leaders at that time. With Mr. Pobia, they make the arrangement. Mr. Kiremuna, he don't can tell una openly. Now he signed that contract between Agbobala and Fontaine-Neba on behalf of the Cameroon government. Say these 2 people, they no go ever stand for the independence and freedom for Ambazonia. So when Fontaine-Neba, when Mr. Bia leave Agbobala, they give Agbobala back a passport. They send Fontaine-Neba for a mission for can finish the struggle for outside. The first thing when Fontaine-Neba come, when he reach Washington, and for call all the Ambazonian people say, they say the international community, they plan for organize a referendum for Ambazonia. So may they come together, they can't fool them, they go create that organization, I think SCL, if I'm not being mistaken, I don't forget the name. Go fool the Ambazonian people, go create that organization where they take all the leaders, they bring all the federalists, can put them inside, infiltrate them, and start to scatter this movement together. Why Agbobala there for ground? They do your own business. By 2018, the staff will tell una say, una vote for the CPDM. By 2019, the staff will tell una say, that the Grand National Dialogue, you go come free una. They don't always use the Ambazonian people then for gain position, for gain influence, at the cost of the lives of 8 million Ambazonians. So any person they can't tell when I say today, they go bring the Ambazonian matter as a political solution. The Ambazonian Cameroon conflict and international conflict. With the mediated with the solution, it no go come up from Cameroon. The Cameroon government not get the will and it not get what it takes for resolve this conflict as a Cameroon matter, because in a conflict between 2 territories. There will not be a matter between Cameroon and Cameroon, a matter between Cameroon and Ambazonia. It don't be established from inside the United Nations, from within the European Union, from within the African Union, all embassies and government across the world, they don't establish this conflict as an international conflict. The Ambazonian Cameroon conflict is an international conflict. So make some person who can tell you, say, if you go vote, I want the Ambazonian people there. Your participation for Cameroon, their internal affairs, as an occupied people, now you the give Cameroon back the political legitimacy. Your participation for Cameroon colonial election, now power, you the take them, a people where you don't already defeat them. You the give them a license, when they come back, they can't occupy you. Any Ambazonian where it participate for Cameroon election, now you don't sell your own future back for people who don't defeat them. A people they never fit for govern themselves. They never fit for clean their own streets. They never fit for give their own people them water. Now how the one can govern you? Mr. Bia, after 8 years or 9 years of this conflict, you don't ever can address una and tell una what you want to do as a solution to end this conflict? Did they ever come for any of the regions of Ambazonia? You no matter. You be just a political ping pong in the game of political power as an occupied people. The only way where you go become a human being worthy for live the life where God make you for living. Now only you get that control. Not be na Cameroon. Not be na Donald Trump. Not be na the European Union. Now only when we, the Ambazonian people, as we rise up for 2016 and we rise up for 2017 and we put our foot for ground, we say at the time this for take back our country. That journey, those steps, they don't give you the kind of power where if you surrender that power back for Cameroon, you think so you don't suffer? The last 64 years, you never really suffer. When I don't see what the Israeli people that they do for Gaza, if you never see them, go take the time, study them, and watch what they don't do for Gaza. That's what is coming to you. If you make the slightest mistake, you take your victories, you take your wins, you take your power where you don't create them, and you go surrender them back for a people who don't defeat them, for a people who don't send them back to a place where they come out. Power na something where you must give for yourself. No person will give you power. I repeat that. Power na something where you must give for yourself, and another person will give you power. America no can give Ambazonia power. When they come for you power, you become a slave for them. Power na something where you must take them. America, they take power from the British. The Canadians, they take power from the British and the French. They take them. They fight for it. Cameroon today, a big governor by France, they don't get power. That's why Mr. Biya no fit resolve this conflict. Issa Chiroma no fit resolve this conflict. Joshua say not get the power for resolve this conflict. Come to not get the power for resolve this conflict. Now only you, the Ambazonian people, you get the final say. The number of guns we get them on the ground and then they speak today. Power today not be for more. Power today must be projected and must be seen. The number of forces who get them on the ground, the number of guns you put them on the ground, now it will give you power. Any person will tell you, say, go vote for La République as a means for any future that is sell you back into slavery. I come today for can reinforce the message that Dr. Cho don't tell me. The moment and now. I want to thank the brave Ambazonian families who did the woke up pay $500 for all they are picking them for diaspora. One mommy, one papa pay $500, $1,000 as their liberation tax. If not the only thing that we do for Ambazonia, then the only thing that will be required of you right now. That $500 with that family, they come out for pay them. $100 for mommy, $100 for papa, $100 for uncles and for aunts, for brothers and for sisters. That's it. Make we take our country back. Donald Trump, they want to take American back, give for the American people then, they build America. Canada now, Mr. McCartney, is focus for rebuild Canada. Because he knows that the world don't change. Mr. Putin, they fight for destroy a country. It will fight for rebuild Russia and fight all the enemies the way they fight for destroy Russia and move Mr. Putin for power so that the wealth, the minerals, the richness of Russia make the world, the Western multinational, make they scatter Russia, take Mr. Putin out, put another puppet there, and then make the Canada company them, American company them, the British company, the French company, they enter inside there, make the Russian people become slaves to the West. That the same thing they want to do for China. So we must understand, so during this time, when the world is shake for adjust for a new power struggle, at the only time this will get the final chance for win this battle, reclaim our homeland, and give our people the what they deserve. About 3 days ago, I woke up for 3 o'clock of morning time. I go run 10 kilometers. 3 o'clock of morning time. Because I live for a land of peace. Because I live for a land of security. I live for a land where I be protected. I live for safe communities. I meet up young women them where they woke up for that same time to go do their own exercises. I go Balano fi waka for inside the streets of Yaoundé for 3 o'clock in the morning time. Joshua see not fi waka for the streets of Yaoundé for 3 o'clock in the morning time. Maurice Campton not fi waka for the streets of Douala for 3 o'clock in the morning time. So now which kind of future the one can promise you? Today, the country don't be occupied by terrorists, murderers, and massacre perpetrators. Now which kind of future the one can promise you? But begin to deserve better. Or mommy, they deserve better. You, mommy, brother, sister, you deserve better. You get a chance. Person will give you freedom. A General Capo, a General Wonyo, Nadia, a General Sumanguru, now the brave Ambazonian commanders and generals across the 13 states that then will give you freedom. The person who will give you freedom, like Dr. Cho Lucas Ayaba. The person who will give you freedom, like Sisekwa Yokabe Julius. The person who will stand up for give you freedom, like Tassan Wilfred, like Panfo, like Mancho BBC, like Penn Terrence, like the Patriots and that, like C. Conrad, like General Benji, like the people that now they will stand, they will give you freedom. You hear? The person who will give you freedom, like Dr. Julius G. The person who will give you freedom, that Benedict Kwa. The person who will give you freedom, that Sheikh Kavi. The person who will give you freedom, that Mami Woli. That Chairman Bandy. Now all the brave men and women, when everybody don't betray you, They still stand for you. They still stand for fight for you. Now, of course, some will give you freedom. Now, the brave men and women wait for the worst of time when everybody else don't betray you, sell you. Those people, they stand for defend you. Well, you know if you defend yourself. You know if you speak. Tomorrow I can't tell you now. Now Ambazonians and now they be forced to do reconstruction for their own community so they don't be burned down by the terrorists. I can't tell you now. Now Ambazonians, they did now contribute money for reconstruct health centers, schools, where the Cameroon government deliberately burn out. So the Cameroon state need to exist as a state. We'll be left on our own. So stand up for defend and protect that future. And they talk for mommy them for diaspora. And they talk for papa them for diaspora. They all want to go home. Everybody they live in regret. They be uncertain about how their future will be like. We don't come to the end of our time. We don't talk more than the time will be promised for be online. I want to appeal for everybody. Pay your liberation tax. I want to tell Ambazonian forces, we now use not only the use of force, but we not do and so respectfully to the Ambazonian people. Every Ambazonian, for every village, for every town, for every community, from every city, must pay a liberation tax. We're there now for June, for July, for 2025. That means that the first 6 months of the year don't pass. We now enforce the liberation tax rigorously. We now every business from Ambazonia must pay the liberation tax. Every motor from Ambazonia must pay the liberation tax. Every Benz seeking from Ambazonia must get a ticket for the liberation tax. The next 3 months will be very crucial. As the Vice President already tell we, there's a lot of things with the Ambazonia Governing Council, they did do them, and with the Ambazonia Defense Forces, they did do them for prepare for the critical moment. Opportunity don't come. Golden opportunity don't come. At the moment, this will must seize them. Do your part. If you want your future, you must invest for it. Just like every parent, they invest for their own pikin, their future. So too, you must invest for the future of your nation. No wait, this some person can't do it for you. Now your time this. If you did for diaspora, pay your liberation tax. If you did for ground zero, pay your liberation tax. Now your ticket for your freedom for 2025. Now a very promising moment this. If we do it to be right, we do it to be required. This 2025 are come on the crack. As we see what it go down. We know what it go down. You know, say Mr. Beer, a time don't come. You know, say shaking day for La Republique. At the time this, for we for rise and proclaim the glory of who will be as a people. We'll find more time for Can Talk on. I know say don't stay while they can talk on. We'll make more time for Can Talk. When I hear, all man, the place, day. When I get my phone number, and when I get the number of all members of the Ambazonia Governing Council, including the Vice President, pay your liberation tax. If you don't know how to do them, contact me. We'll tell you safe, secure means for pay your liberation tax for your freedom. All money place day. Asian, we thank you plenty.
So it tells you about the level of media freedom in Cameroon, that an executive gets up in the morning and signs an order saying the media should not report about a certain topic, a topic that is of interest to the people. The people have the right to know where the president is. The people have the right to know if the president is well or unwell.
The media may be banned from reporting on the president's health, but Cameroonians know that Bia's days are numbered, and there's no succession plan in place. So factions within the ruling party have begun to jostle for position to keep their access to state resources. There's a power struggle underway, one that is having dire consequences for journalists.
Listen up, my people. This is a message every Ambazonian must hear, clear and loud. The Cameroonian presidential elections are coming. But for us, these elections are not just politics, they are a trap. Let me be blunt. If you are Ambazonian living on our soil, you have no business with Cameroon's elections. This is not our fight, not our future, and definitely not our government. Participating gives them the power to claim our land, our voice, and our destiny. I know there are temptations. Money, promises, maybe even fear. But remember, every vote you cast for their system is a step against our freedom. There will be consequences for anyone who tries to drag Ambazonia back under the shadow of Cameroon. You might think it's just one vote, one act, but it's bigger than that. It is betrayal. Stay away from their polling stations. Don't let them use your participation as proof that Ambazonia accepts their rule. We are not Cameroonians, we are Ambazonians. Our future is in our hands, not in their ballot boxes. Spread this message. Warn your brothers, your sisters, your neighbors. Stand strong, stand proud. Ambazonia is watching. And history will remember those who stood firm. Stay safe, stay wise. The time for unity is now.
In this urgent video, the Ambazonia Defense Forces, or ADF, address all Ambazonians residing in Ambazonia. It is crucial, really, to stay away from Cameroon's presidential elections coming up in October 2025. Participation in these elections may lead to serious consequences, and we want to ensure your safety. For this reason, we call on all our citizens, especially those living in Ground Zero. We discuss the implications and potential dangers that could arise from involvement in these political events. Stay informed and protect yourself and your community. At this critical times, we call on you all to remain vigilant and cautious. We are out to protect you, so for your own safety, stay away from any campaign ground and stay away from anything that has to do with Cameroon. Share this message with fellow Ambazonians to keep everyone aware and safe. Remember, knowledge is power.